Welcome to Discovering Gender Diversity, a series that explores a world of unique gender identities, their advantages and challenges. Join us as we uncover narratives, journey across borders, and learn how countries support gender diversity. Genderqueer gender identity development for individuals who identify as genderqueer can be a unique and deeply personal journey. Genderqueer, also known as non-binary or gender fluid, is an umbrella term that encompasses a range of gender identities that do not fit within the traditional binary understanding of male and female. Here is an explanation of gender identity development for genderqueer individuals. 1. Exploration and self-discovery. Genderqueer individuals often begin their journey by questioning the societal norms and expectations surrounding gender. This exploration can start at a young age or occur later in life. It involves asking questions about one's own feelings and experiences related to gender. It may involve trying on different labels, pronouns, and expressions to see what feels most authentic. 2. Awareness of gender diversity. As genderqueer individuals explore their gender identity, they become more aware of the vast diversity of gender identities beyond the binary. They may connect with others who share similar experiences, which can be validating and affirming. 3. Pronoun and label selection. A significant aspect of genderqueer identity development is choosing pronouns and labels that resonate with the individual. This may involve using they, them pronouns, neopronouns, or other gender-neutral pronouns. Labels like genderqueer, non-binary, gender fluid, or agender may also be adopted to describe one's identity. 4. Coming out. Coming out is an important step in the process. Genderqueer individuals may choose to share their gender identity with friends, family, and colleagues. The timing and extent of coming out can vary widely, and some individuals may decide to keep their gender identity private. 5. Legal and social transition. Some genderqueer individuals may choose to pursue legal or social changes to align with their gender identity. This could include changing their name, updating identification documents, or requesting gender-neutral restrooms and pronouns in professional and social settings. 6. Gender expression. Genderqueer individuals often express their gender in ways that feel authentic to them, which may not conform to traditional gender norms. They may experiment with clothing, hairstyles, and other aspects of presentation to reflect their identity. 7. Advocacy and education. Many genderqueer individuals become advocates for gender diversity and may engage in educational efforts to increase understanding and acceptance. They may participate in support groups, online communities, or organizations that promote awareness and inclusivity. 8. Emotional and mental well-being. Throughout the process of gender identity development, it is crucial for individuals to prioritize their emotional and mental well-being. Seeking support from mental health professionals, friends, or support groups can be beneficial. 9. Evolving identity. Gender identity is not static, and it can evolve over time. Some genderqueer individuals may experience shifts in their understanding of their gender identity, which is entirely valid. It's important to note that each person's gender identity development is unique and may not follow a linear path. What matters most is that individuals have the freedom to explore, express, and define their gender identity in a way that feels true to themselves. Supporting and respecting their self-identified gender is essential for creating an inclusive and accepting society. Genderqueer as a gender identity does not inherently have advantages in the traditional sense. Gender identity is a deeply personal aspect of an individual's identity, and it is not a matter of seeking advantages. Instead, the concept of genderqueer, like any other gender identity, is about self-discovery, authenticity, and acknowledging the diverse ways in which people experience and express their gender. However, there are some positive aspects associated with recognizing and embracing a genderqueer identity, both for individuals and for society as a whole. 1. Authenticity. Embracing a genderqueer identity allows individuals to be true to themselves and express their gender in a way that feels most authentic. This can lead to increased self-acceptance and overall well-being. 2. Expanding gender understanding. Genderqueer identities challenge traditional gender norms and binary thinking. By acknowledging and respecting genderqueer individuals, we promote a more inclusive understanding of gender, which benefits everyone by reducing the constraints of rigid gender expectations. 3. Representation and visibility. Genderqueer individuals can serve as visible and positive role models for others who may be questioning their own gender identity. Increased visibility can help others feel less isolated and more supported in their journeys of self-discovery. 4. Advocacy and social change. Genderqueer individuals and their allies often become advocates for gender diversity and work to promote greater inclusivity in society. Their efforts contribute to a more accepting and equal world for all gender identities. 5. Personal growth. The process of exploring one's gender identity, coming to terms with it, and sharing it with others can be a powerful journey of personal growth and self-acceptance. It can lead to increased self-awareness, empathy, and understanding of others. 6. Challenging stereotypes. Genderqueer individuals challenge the stereotypes associated with masculinity and femininity, which can be liberating and promote a more open-minded and accepting society. It's important to remember that the advantages or benefits of embracing a genderqueer identity are subjective and may vary from person to person. What is crucial is respecting and supporting each individual's self-identified gender, providing a safe and inclusive environment, and working toward a society that acknowledges and celebrates the full spectrum of gender identities. In this way, we can create a world where all individuals can express their authentic selves and live without fear of discrimination or exclusion. Genderqueer individuals can face various challenges and disadvantages due to societal norms, prejudices, and misconceptions related to gender diversity. These challenges can include 1. Discrimination and stigma. Genderqueer individuals may encounter discrimination or face stigma in various aspects of their lives, including employment, healthcare, and social interactions. Discrimination can manifest as rejection, bullying, or microaggressions. 2. Legal and institutional hurdles. Legal systems, official documents, and institutions may not always recognize or accommodate non-binary or genderqueer identities. This can lead to difficulties in obtaining accurate identification documents, such as driver's licenses and passports. 3. Healthcare disparities. Genderqueer individuals may encounter challenges in accessing healthcare, as some healthcare providers may not be knowledgeable or supportive of their unique healthcare needs. This can result in inadequate or discriminatory healthcare experiences. 4. Mental health and well-being. Dealing with discrimination, rejection, and a lack of understanding from others can have negative effects on the mental health and well-being of genderqueer individuals. They may experience higher rates of anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. 5. Social isolation. Genderqueer individuals may struggle with social isolation, especially if they are not accepted or supported by their families or communities. This isolation can lead to feelings of loneliness and disconnectedness. 6. Microaggressions and misgendering. Microaggressions, such as using incorrect pronouns or making insensitive comments, can be a frequent source of stress and discomfort for genderqueer individuals. 7. Limited visibility and representation. Genderqueer individuals often lack representation in media, education, and other public platforms, which can contribute to feelings of invisibility and marginalization. 8. Barriers to support. Accessing support networks, such as LGBTQ+ organizations and communities, can be difficult for some genderqueer individuals, depending on their location and the level of local support available. 9. Confusion and misunderstanding. Genderqueer individuals may have to regularly explain their gender identity to others, which can be emotionally taxing and feel invalidating. It's important to recognize that these disadvantages are not inherent to being genderqueer, but result from societal norms and biases. Efforts to promote understanding, acceptance, and inclusivity for genderqueer individuals can help mitigate these disadvantages. This includes promoting education about gender diversity, respecting pronouns and identities, advocating for legal changes to better recognize non-binary identities, and challenging stereotypes and biases. In doing so, we can work toward a more equitable and accepting society for all gender identities. It's essential to note that the experience of being genderqueer and the level of acceptance can vary not only between countries, but also within different regions and communities. Acceptance and rights for genderqueer individuals are evolving globally, and while some countries are making progress, challenges still exist. Here are 4 countries known for their relatively positive attitudes towards genderqueer individuals, but please keep in mind that this information may have evolved beyond my last knowledge update in September 2021. 1. Canada. Canada is often considered a welcoming and inclusive country for genderqueer and LGBTQ+ individuals. It has strong legal protections against discrimination based on gender identity and expression, and many cities, including Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal, have vibrant LGBTQ+ communities and resources. 2. Sweden. Sweden is known for its progressive stance on LGBTQ+ rights. Genderqueer and non-binary individuals can benefit from legal recognition and a generally inclusive and accepting society. Sweden has protections against discrimination on the basis of gender identity. 3. New Zealand. New Zealand has been actively working to promote LGBTQ+ rights and inclusivity. The country has protections against discrimination based on gender identity, and several cities, such as Auckland and Wellington, have supportive LGBTQ+ communities. 4. The Netherlands. The Netherlands is recognized for its progressive stance on LGBTQ+ rights. Genderqueer and non-binary individuals can find support and understanding in Dutch society. Legal protections exist against discrimination on the basis of gender identity. While these countries are often cited for their relative acceptance and legal protections for genderqueer individuals, it's essential to remember that acceptance and experiences can vary widely even within these countries. Additionally, the social and legal landscape is constantly evolving, so it's a good idea to research the most up-to-date information and consult local LGBTQ+ organizations or communities for guidance if you are considering living or traveling to these or any other locations. Thank you for being part of this inspiring journey. Your time and engagement are truly appreciated. We hope you've gained insight into the beauty of diversity in our world. Thank you for celebrating it with us. In the video description, you'll find links to explore additional gender identities for a more comprehensive understanding.